So good evening to everybody once more. I'm very happy that we are meeting again, and that we are meeting with you being in the next level, not still in level 300. You are now in level 400. Is that? Yes, level 400. So
Yes, sir.
now you are all already at the final stage or towards the final stage. So you should now, at this point, you should now be identifying the key areas where you can be able to sell yourself to the society, especially in this our domain of computer science. So I believe there are some concepts that we have studied right up to today, since we were in level 1, and some of them we are comfortable with, some of them we are not comfortable with some of the concepts, and we are not comfortable with some concepts, not because we cannot understand them, but because maybe we still need to put a little effort. Okay, so like I always say, this our domain is a domain that is highly important, or is highly critical to the society today. So if you have decided to do computer science, you should dedicate yourself, you should dedicate your studies to the computer science, and I bet you will not regret. So at this stage, at this level, you need to be like considering all the elements that you have studied. You have studied maybe networking, you have studied maybe programming, you have studied databases. Last year we had a course on database. So you see, which area can you really focus on? How can you apply these things? Because the things that we have done, the little things that we have done in our previous courses, I bet you in the job market, they are not doing, or in the companies, they are not doing something so special from what you have learned. You just need to be able to focus and dedicate yourself and be ready to learn, and you'll be able to apply your skills. So that's why in our sessions, I always want you to take them serious and to be contributing. If there is a little assignment that you are given to do, you need to take it serious. Yeah. So that's what I expect from you. I don't expect that you will, after all the efforts, you will still find yourself wanting, like you don't know what you can sell to the job market for yourself. So you should be able to say that I can do databases, I can do programming, I can do this. Because that's what is going to sell you. It's not the degree that you have in your pocket. If you have the degree and they put you in front of a computer to compile a small code and you cannot do it, then you will not have the job. And somebody maybe who is able to learn these practical skills in the quarter will get the job before you. So you need to really take things into your hands. And if you want to complain that there are no jobs, there are no opportunities, complain when you know that you have the skills, have all it takes, but not complain in a situation where they will give you the job and you will not be able to do the job. So I urge you guys to be very attentive, to be open-minded. If you have any challenges, we discuss and then we move forward. Okay, we should not spend the time complaining that this is not happening the way we want it to happen, but let's see what we can make out of the opportunities that we have, and we move forward. So I'm going to share my screen. Somebody is saying something, Evani?
Sorry, sir, it's a mistake.
Evani, are you supposed to be here, or you are repeating the course? Are you Evani? Evani, are you carrying over the course?
No, sir. I'm not coming over the course. I'm doing it for the first time.
Ah, you're supposed to be here.
Yes, sir.
Did you change your name? Or there is another Evani that is elsewhere?
No, I did not change my name, sir.
Okay, all right. So I hope you listened to what we said. Let me just share my screen and we can continue from there. Unless you have any questions, you can ask. If you have questions based on what I have said, you can ask. Any
Okay, sir. No problem.
Okay. Okay. So as we know, our course is entitled Object-Oriented Programming. Object-Oriented Programming. I'm sharing my screen and I believe you can see. And in this course, we are going to be learning or studying some programming concepts. That is the object-oriented concept of programming, okay? And like in our other courses, let me share the outline. So I believe everybody has taken some time to go through the outline. We have the course objectives that you have seen, and the objective is not more than that. At the end of this course, you should be able to apply or to be able to write computer programs using the Java programming language or using the C++ programming language, which is the object-oriented approach of programming. So if at the end of this course, you are unable to write a program that can be used or that can be useful, then we have not achieved our objectives. So that is globally the objective of this course. And we shall be using NetBeans. We also have another software that we call Eclipse, but I advise us to use NetBeans, or if you have Eclipse, you can also use, okay? It's not a problem. So you'll be expected to install NetBeans on your laptops. And once you will launch the installation of NetBeans, they will ask you for a pre-requirement, which will be Java Development Kit, JDK. So you also need to install JDK before you install the NetBeans. Okay, so that is basically the tool that we are going to be using. And then, like we said, we are going to have lectures, we are going to have practicals, we are going to have tutorials, and we are going to have assignments, which is very important. So our lectures are going to be, we're going to do them online, and we are going to do them on campus. Okay, so for now, based on my availability and the schedule, we are going to start working online like we've always done. But towards the end of next month, towards the end of November, we'll start working on campus. Okay, so we shall also have practical lessons, practical exercises. It means at the end of every lecture or during the lecture, we can just decide and we do a practice, compile a particular code. So you should not expect that we are going to dedicate one full session just for practical, but most of the times when we will learn a concept, we are going to apply and you will see how it is working. So that will be practical. And most of the practical exercises, you will need to go and do them yourself. Okay, I will give you maybe some code that you will compile and do some updates, and then you will give me the report or your results. Okay, so we shall have tutorials that will organize towards the end. I will give you the tutorial questions that can guide you on exercises, that can guide you to know how to answer questions. Okay, and then we shall have assignments. So for the assignments, it should be ready that at the end of every lecture, starting from today, you will have an assignment that you will do. And assignments are only going to be submitted on the e-learning platform. Assignments are going to be submitted only on the e-learning platform. I believe everybody has an account already there. So the assignments will be there. You'll be given a period, a time to upload your assignments. And once the time is over, you should not come and complain that you are unable to submit your assignment for whatsoever reason. So we will always give a period enough for everyone to do their assignments and upload them on the module e-learning platform that the university have put in place. So the evaluation of these assignments, the marking and the grading will be done online. So once I will do the grading, you will see your marks, and all these assignments will be part of your continuous assessment. Okay? For those who are not here, you better tell them, because I will not want somebody to complain that they did not do, they don't have CA marks or they have poor marks because they did not do assignment, and that we should consider. That is not going to be. Everybody should make sure they do their assignments and that they upload their assignments on the platform and on time. Okay, that will be part of the evaluation of the CA. And then the second part of the CA will be your attendance. Now, I believe the delegate has started taking the attendance. You keep an Excel sheet where you write the date and indicate which person is present, which person is absent, and at the end of the term or during the continuous assessment, we will look at the averages of all the assignments. If we have given 10 assignments and you have done just one, not that we will take one and we divide by 10 to have the average of the assignments. Okay? If we have given 10 assignments and you have done 10, okay, you are lucky. We will take the average of the 10. If you have given 10 and you have done just 5, don't come and ask us to consider just what you have done, because we shall consider everybody the same. We will take the 5 assignments and we divide by 10. Okay? We will sum and we divide by 10. The same for everybody. Please, let's take note of this so that we will not run into any issues at the end. Let's just make sure we do what we're supposed to do and we are fine. And I bet you nobody is going to be repeating this course or carrying over. Okay. So that is it. So you should be ready to do your assignments. You should be ready to participate in our sessions and also to contribute. And once you are connected, you should be able to also, you can be asked to compile a code or to explain a concept. You should be able to do that. So the lectures will not only be one-sided from me, but any other person can show their screen and do something for us. So for now, we consider using Zoom, but other platforms we can consider to use them depending on how we will be. So we have our official WhatsApp group where we are going to pass every information related to the course. If a content is uploaded online, we shall give the information on WhatsApp. If there is anything, we shall give information on WhatsApp. So that group is going to facilitate our daily communication. Okay. And then there are projects that will be done at the end, mini projects. For the mini projects, we can put 1 or 2 students in a group, and then you are asked to develop an application that can be useful. You'll be asked to develop an application that can be useful based on the concept that you have learned. So you should be open-minded, and you can propose your projects also. You can propose some project topics that you intend to work on, and then we will see how to do that. So for now, we are not going to look at very complex projects. You can just take a simple application and then you work on it and you present. So that will also boost your skills in the course. So that is it about I think for the requirements, like I said, you will just need to have your laptop ready, that you will install NetBeans or Eclipse, and that you have internet connectivity. I know people will be complaining, but you will need to have internet connectivity, and you will need to have a smartphone, or I don't know, that can enable you to connect, to discuss online, to be aware of what is happening. It is important for us nowadays. Okay, so that is it. So for the CA, we will not have any written CA, but the CA will just be your assignments and your participation, your attendance. Okay, then for the exams, we'll have the exams that will be written, and exams could be written with or without laptops. So we could decide that we are going to write our exams using our laptops, and you just go there and you compile a code or do some stuff, and we evaluate you on that. Okay. So I think we are fine with the requirements and how things are going to unfold. If somebody has a worry in that regard, please, you can ask a question. Clinton, are we fine?
Yes, sir, we are okay.
And Blaise and Asobo, are we okay?
Yes, sir, we are okay, sir.
Evani has disappeared.
There's Nero.
Yes, sir, everything is good.
Oh, okay. Oh. Okay. So if we have understood, please, we should be ready to, if others are asking questions and complaining, we should tell them exactly what is going to be happening. So we decided to divide our courses into weeks. For week 1, we have what we will do in week 1. Week 2, we have what shall be done, and I believe you have taken time to look at it. Right up to week 12. Right up to week 15. So most of these concepts, if we might compress them, like for example, what we expected to do in week 10 and week 11, we might compress them and do it in 1 week, and we move forward. So we'll just see how to accelerate and move even faster. Okay, and move faster. So Clinton, they are telling me that the meeting will end in 10 minutes and that we will need to start again. So you should be ready that when it ends, you start immediately and we connect, okay?
Okay, sir.
All right. So concerning the time for our lectures, especially for online lectures, we can adjust the time. If you are not comfortable with this time, we can see how you can look for a more conducive time for everyone. If not for everyone, for the majority. Some people might want to have the class at 5 a.m., but I don't want the class at 5 a.m. Some people might want to have it at midnight or at 2 a.m., and it might not be conducive for others. Okay, but we will try to look for a time that is more convenient. But online classes are not good during the day because some of you will find yourself in beer parlors and you are attending classes, which is not good. So we prefer this time that you are already settled at home. Okay.
Okay, sir.
All right. So I will not be going detailing into the weekly and on the lesson schedule, because I believe you have taken some time to look at it, and we'll start immediately if there are no other worries. We can start. Any questions on the program, on the presentation?
No, sir.
No, sir, it's okay, sir.
Okay. Okay, so now we are going to dive into what object-oriented programming is all about. So our first module is the basic concepts of object-oriented programming, okay? And in that, we are going to look at some introduction to objects and classes, where we'll look at what objects are, how to create objects. We look at how to access objects. We'll look at what classes are. We'll look at how to access class members, class specification, properties, methods in the class or class functions, and types of methods. And then we'll look at the last concept that we call inner classes. Okay, so these are the things that we will look at quickly. Okay, now when we talk of programming, you need to know that programming has to do with what? Creating computer programs or writing computer programs. And we know what a program is. A computer program is simply a list of unambiguous instructions that a computer follows in order to execute a particular task. So that is a computer program. It's also called a software. So a computer program is simply a list of or let me say unambiguous instructions that the computer executes step by step in order to solve a particular problem or to achieve a particular task. So when we say instructions that are written in a computer program, you see, these instructions, for the computer to respect them, they must be presented in a format that the computer will understand. Okay? If you are speaking in English language, for example, the computer hardware will not be able to understand the English language. So these instructions must be presented in the format that the computer will understand, okay, or in the language that the computer will understand. And the language that the computer understands is what they call the machine language. And when you look at the machine language, you will see that it is the binary number system. It is the binary number. So the computer will work with ones and zeros because the computer is an electronic device, okay? So it means that when you write your program, even in the C programming language or in the Java or any other Python, JavaScript, any other programming language, for the computer to actually execute those instructions, they must be translated right down to the machine language, which is the binary format. We know computers are electronic devices, and electronic components can only be in two states. Either it is on or it is off, okay? And the on and off are represented by the binary 1 or 0. And that's the language that the computer understands. Okay. So now they are giving some introduction about how the CPU executes the programs that are stored in the computer memory and how the program will do what? The memory will need to hold those instructions that are in the program. For example, when you launch your application, the instructions in that application are loaded in the memory. And now, if you need to run that application with some data, the memory will also need to hold the data on which you are going to run that you are going to run the instructions. Maybe the instruction is an addition. Addition is an instruction. But now, what are you adding? You need to have some data that you are adding. Okay, so that's why we say in addition to the program, the memory can also hold the data that is being processed by the program. Okay. Okay, so you will see that what the CPU is doing, or what the CPU does on its normal cycle, is that it fetches instructions from the memory, it decodes those instructions, and then it executes those instructions. After executing, it stores the results maybe in the memory or in the registers, and subsequently even in the secondary storage. So that's what the CPU does all through the day. It does what? It fetches the instructions. After fetching the instructions and the data from the memory, and when I talk of the memory here, I mean the main memory, which is the RAM. It fetches those instructions from the RAM using the buses or the bus lines. After fetching the instructions, it does what? It decodes those instructions to understand what is behind the instructions. After decoding, it executes. After executing, it stores the result and it continues again. It fetches the next instruction, it executes, and it continues like that until the whole program or the whole task is executed. So that's what is called the CPU cycle. Fetching instructions from the memory, decoding them, executing them, storing results, and all of that. Okay, and those instructions are actually computer programs. Okay. So here we also try to detail to you that the CPU is made up of two major components: the arithmetic and logic unit and the
Control unit.
the control unit, right? There are two units. We have the arithmetic logic unit or the ALU, and we have the control unit. Okay, so each of these units has their own functions. The arithmetic and logic unit is responsible for fetching and decoding. The control unit, the control unit is responsible for fetching and decoding, while the arithmetic and logic unit is responsible for performing all the arithmetic and logic operations. Okay. 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 So now we say that a computer is a machine built of millions of tiny switches called transistors. Okay. So they can be wired together to form a switch or to form a network. And it can be either in two states. Electronic circuit can either be what they call the algebra that is the concept is the concept of Boolean algebra. Okay, Boolean algebra, where you have a circuit which is built based on logic gates, what we call logic gates. Okay, and they can either be on or off. I think when we come back, we will continue because the meeting is stopping in less than a minute.